Hey everybody, Middle Guy back again. Well, ICE went apeshit over the weekend and arrested over 1,000 illegal immigrants that were in our country, and they're deporting them probably as I speak right now, which is amazing. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Tom Homan. So I want to get into this video here about it from Fox. Oh, 1,200 plus over the weekend. Just think about this. They were able to snatch up 1,200 criminals who are in our country illegally in 2 days. How big is this problem? How large did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let this grow to be at the point where we can arrest 1,200 immigrants, and honestly, it probably hasn't even put a dent in it with the millions that we have here in our country. Unbelievable. Well, let's watch this and discuss.
Sure, thanks, guys. Well, the crackdown is coming into focus under President Trump's direction. ICE is racking up thousands of arrests, and this as we enter week 2 of Trump 2.0. Good morning. I'm Dana Perrine. I'm Bill is off today. Good morning, Sandra.
It's great to be with you, Dana. Thanks for having me. I'm Sandra Smith. This is America's Newsroom. It was a busy weekend for sure for ICE, the agency arresting nearly 300.
Yeah, because they're finally allowed to do their job.
Illegal immigrants on Saturday alone, and nearly 1,000 on Sunday.
Look at that. 956 arrests in one day. One day. That's insane.
ICE also lodging nearly.
And people are complaining that they're arresting these criminals for some reason. I don't know why people want criminals roaming our streets, but they're fucking morons, obviously. But I don't understand, and that I'll never understand. And again, don't tell me how they contribute. How do you get a job when you don't have authorization to work unless you're working illegally? And the company is employing you illegally, which means you're probably getting paid under the table and you're probably not paying taxes. Or you stole someone's social security number, which is a felony. And then you're dicking them over because you're adding income to their name that they're not making and they're responsible for paying taxes on. Ridiculous and disgusting.
Nearly 800 detainers, which means there is probable cause to deport. And according to border czar Tom Homan,
perfect, get them out.
This is only the beginning.
Good.
Yes, but you're going to see a number steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
And part of the problem is these sanctuary cities that don't want to cooperate, so they just go into the community. And if they go into a place and there's someone here who just entered the country illegally, which is a crime in itself, but didn't commit any actual crimes, guess what? They're getting snatched up too, and they're gone as well. So this is all the sanctuary cities are causing, is more people to get deported. Great job, assholes.
We are getting a look at how these deportations are being carried out. You
Load
can
them up
see
and get them
agents
out.
loading criminal migrants onto a military plane there. The flight bound for their country of origin.
One South American leader tried to turn away those flights.
Tried. He caved in less than an hour. Fucking pussy.
But he quickly reversed that policy after a fierce response from President Trump. We have more on
QT time is over, ladies and gentlemen.
that as we go to Peter Ducey. He's live at the White House for us. What a weekend it was, Peter.
We've got about
What a weekend it was. It's right,
We're in the
because Trump is
billions
not
of
playing
views. And we're a
fucking
small town.
games. Everyone needs to realize that.
And Sandra, this weekend, for a few hours at least, the Colombian president was really dug in against President Trump, and he was
Bro, it wasn't even a few hours. It was literally less than an hour before he caved.
explaining in public why Colombia was not going to accept 2 U.S. military planes full of Colombians who had entered the United States illegally. The president.
And does anybody know how hard it is, what it takes to get citizenship in Colombia? You can't enter their country illegally. You can't work there illegally. Look it up.
Said at one point, the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals.
No, we actually can treat them as criminals because when they enter our country illegally, they are fucking criminals, you stupid motherfucker.
Deny the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants into our territory. The United States must establish a
Into our territory. Dude, they're your fucking citizens, asshole.
protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants before we receive them.
Why should we treat criminals dignified? This dude is ridiculous. How did they get out of your country without having a visa or anything to come here or to go anywhere or a passport? Can you explain that? No, of course not, because you don't give a fuck. Because you're a piece of shit, that's why.
But then came a 25% tariff threat that would rise to 50% after a week, and suddenly 180 degrees different. Part of the news statement said this:
Oh, weird. All of a sudden he's sending a plane and wants to expedite them. That's crazy.
President provides a presidential plane for the dignified return of his fellow citizens and will lead efforts at the Extraordinary Assembly of CELAC. Caroline Leavitt, the new press secretary, said in part the fully drafted IEEPA tariffs and sanctions will be held in reserve and not signed unless Colombia fails to honor this agreement. The visa sanctions issued by the State Department and enhanced inspections from Customs and Border Protection will remain in effect until the first plane load of Colombian deportees is successfully returned.
Perfect. Finally, somebody actually doing something and being a leader. This is what leadership actually looks like. Getting things done.
The new president wants to deport people back to their countries of origin.
That's where they should go. Wherever you're a citizen of, that's where you need to go back to. No one cares. Bye. Get out. Not our problem.
These tariff threats are a way to try to keep that process moving, and that's not going to stop.
Exactly.
If you have a person who is convicted of a violent crime, whether they're an illegal immigrant or a non-illegal immigrant, you have to go and get that person to protect the public safety. That's not unique to immigration.
Yeah. How is this not common sense? I mean, I know liberals don't have any fucking common sense, but how is this not common sense to not want criminals who are in our country illegally to be here? Why is that an issue for anyone? I don't understand. And no one ever wants to actually answer that question or have a conversation on the left. They just, oh, you're a Nazi, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that. Just stop. Stop it. You sound stupid, and that's why you lost the fucking election. Because you refuse to have a conversation. Because when your ideas are challenged, you fold and you fucking fall apart. And it's sad. If you're going to have core values, at least be able to back them up with something. And not with calling the other person a racist or a Nazi or a bigot or whatever bullshit you're going to try to come up with to attack them. Back up your shit with some facts and some logic and common sense. Ridiculous.
President Trump wakes up at Trump Doral in Miami today. Later on, a couple hours from now, he is going to huddle with House Republicans there to try to figure out what exactly they can and cannot stuff into this, what they call a big, beautiful spending bill. Sandra.
No slowing down in sight. Peter Ducey left the White House for us. Peter, thank you. Dana?
Let's bring in former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey. Want to show everybody the cover of the New York Post this morning. New tariff in town, which of course they're 100 for 100 when it comes to great headlines. But that was quite an amazing thing yesterday to have the Colombian president try to defy President Trump and then basically
I thought it was hilarious, honestly.
cave so badly that he was offering his own plane.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It just really shows we have new leadership in town. And I think these countries are going to realize they're going to break out into two categories. One is going to be countries that cooperate, and the other one is going to be countries that wish they did, because he's going to make it so painful for them.
Don't cooperate. See what happens. This is what people forget. All these countries need us way more than we need them. Full stop.
That it's not going to be worth it for them. So hopefully most of them will fall in the former category and
They'll all fall in line.
cooperate, because it's not worth it for them, and there's no reason for them not to be taking their citizens back.
Exactly.
But it really just shows that.
Why won't you take your citizens? They live in your country. I don't know why that's an issue.
The stark contrast between the new leadership and the previous leadership, which seemed to view weakness as somehow virtuous for America and always putting America last. These are
Exactly. That's what the Democrats don't understand, because they do it constantly. And they think it's a good idea. It's not.
people in most cases that are criminals that need to be removed from our country, and these countries should accept them back, and I think they're going
Yeah, take your people back. They're your citizens. Take them back. We don't fucking want them.
to. And this was a great day for the Trump administration as far as not only for these particular migrants,
Every day
but
so far has
overall
been a great
deterrence
day.
for people that will be coming in, and those that are here, they're going to want to fight any sort of deportation efforts.
Fight it all you want. You're getting the fuck out. No one cares what you want to fight or what you think or how you feel.
And the Colombian president might just serve as an example to others, right? So not
Exactly.
taking your
Set an example.
people back, it's not going to be an option. So that, I think,
It shouldn't be an option. Those are your citizens. Why would you not want your citizens back?
it sets the stage. I just want to show you here, I'm not going to read them all out to everybody, but look on your screen because these are the number of arrests and actions that have been taken in terms of this action in just week.
Look at that. Since Trump's inauguration, they've arrested 2,833 illegal immigrants. That is fucking insane. How is there that many illegal criminals here? Once they were arrested, they should have been deported immediately because they're here illegally. Why are they in our communities and in our country? This is disgusting.
One. And it's quite extraordinary how many people are actually out there and who they can find. Based on your experience, how were they able to do this so quickly? Did they already know where these people were that they wanted to go and get them?
We've always said never.
Of course they knew. They said they knew where they were and they were going to go and get them. Why do you think they're going into specific places?
Yes, and this really also just shows what the Biden administration hasn't been doing because a lot of these people are sitting in local jails. The people that they say lodge detainers on, those are people
Exactly. The detainers are for people in jail.
in jail that the previous administration just didn't even bother to lodge detainers on. And a lot of these other people, they know exactly where they are, and they have known.
This is just showing the complete and utter failure that was the Biden presidency. And Kamala, too, because she was the border czar. Good dumb bitch.
And that's the only reason they were able to get them. But I think a lot of the things this administration is doing, one of the things Stephen Miller talked about, I think on Friday on
And what America voted for. That's what they're doing.
Fox was about how they're creating task forces with local law enforcement and all the federal agencies to go after the illegal migrants and criminals. And
Illegal immigrants. They're not fucking migrants.
this is really more than a force multiplier because this is something the federal government routinely does with drug traffickers, gangs, human traffickers, and you get the experience
I don't understand why it's a problem to round up criminals.
of the local law enforcement in terms of locating people with the federal expertise of federal law enforcement. So it really is going to, the numbers are going to skyrocket from these numbers, which are already at about 1,000 a day.
And that's crazy that there's that many criminals here in our country illegally. Think about that. And people are simping for this, and they're pissed off that they're being arrested and removed. How disgusting are those people? They should be sent with them.
The administration taking some heat for how they are being described as going after folks. Watch
Who gives a fuck? They're criminals.
Martha Raddatz and Tom Homan this weekend.
Oh, God.
How
This woman is an idiot.
many MS-13 members are at age 14, 17? Many of them. So, look, if it's a national security threat, public safety threat, and what you need to understand is a case by case. Name another agency, another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or doctor's office or a medical campus. No other agency's held to those standards.
Exactly. It's just fucking ridiculous to want to have a safe space for criminals. How stupid is that?
Police officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat is in one of these facilities.
Exactly.
And there should be an option for them to make the arrest.
It shouldn't be a question for them to go make the fucking arrest. Why are we even questioning this? It's ridiculous.
So, but to keep all of this going, it requires funds in order to make it happen. Watch Senator Graham this weekend.
They're going to
Yeah, we can save the money that we're going to fucking spend on supporting these illegals and just send them back. We're going to use that fucking money.
deport people who are part of gangs that are criminals. There's 1.4 million who've had their case fully adjudicated, and they're still here. There's about 680,000 convicted of serious crime. To my Republican colleagues, particularly in the House, as we fiddle, our immigration plans are hitting walls. We're not building walls, we're hitting walls.
Last word to you about that point. How quickly do they need these funds in order to keep doing what they're doing?
Well, I think they're going to need funds right away, but at least the most important thing that they're doing right now is by showing this show of force and show of strength, they're deterring new people from coming in. So at least we're stopping the flow, but money is necessary. But keep in mind, it cost $150 billion tax dollars for illegal immigrants to care for them with all their services just last year.
Thank
so ultimately, whatever.
So there we go. We're going to use that money. And again, what's the cost of security and sovereignty for our nation? for the nation that you live in? Someone put a price tag on it. Tell me in the comments. Put a price tag on it. What's the cost?
Whatever we spend, we're probably going to be netting on the other end of it over time.
That's a great point. Jonathan, thanks for being
Yeah, exactly. In the long run, it's going to pay back, and we're going to have more money because we're not going to be spending it wiping these people's asses who aren't even supposed to fucking be here.
here. I'm sure we'll see you again. Thank you.
Ridiculous. Now I want to see this. It's Chicago residents reacting to Trump's raids.
In the country illegally, you're on the table. Because it's not okay to, violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violate a crime under Title 8 United States Code 1325. It's a crime.
Why doesn't anybody understand that?
So if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge should leave.
Exactly.
For a message there
Get the fuck out.
from Border Czar Tom Homan on one of the Sunday talk shows over the weekend, throwing down the gauntlet. He was in Chicago over the weekend as federal agents began their targeted immigration enforcement operations in the Democrat-run city. Joining us now is Kata Trust, a Chicago resident. Kata, thank you for coming back on. And your reaction to what you saw happening in your city after speaking up about this as long as you have over the weekend.
My reaction has been somewhat excitement, but then also, you can't see this happening and not have your heart hurt for some of the people who are going to be deported. And that's for the people who are hardworking, people who have come to this country. Now, those criminals who came here, which is what Tom Homan is targeting right now, we feel good about the fact that they're being taken back to their countries and taken out of our neighborhoods.
We
are already dealing with high crime. And so it's good to know that someone has our back. I've been listening to our mayor and our governor the last couple of days basically doubling down on not even being willing to assist in helping them to get criminals out of our community. And one of the things that you'll hear Mayor Brandon Johnson say, that crime is down in the city of Chicago. I live approximately 3 blocks from the mayor, and my husband was carjacked in front of our house on Monday.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, crime's down, though. He said so. Why are you lying, lady?
So I don't need to hear people talking to me about how we're being insensitive to other people.
Nope, you're obviously a huge, huge racist. You hate black and brown people. That's so obvious right now.
When we're fighting our own issues right here in our community, and so to compile.
Thank you. Exactly. We have our own issues. We don't need more of these motherfuckers coming here that don't belong here. Preach, ma'am. Preach.
Those with criminals from other places is unacceptable.
Yeah,
so we're excited about that.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
I mean, as you know, the administration has said, and you heard Tom Homan there, these initial arrests and deportations are targeted. They are going after criminals.
No one's mentioning that on the left, though. They're just up in arms because criminals are being arrested for some fucking odd reason. I don't know why.
Criminals and those who have obviously committed illegal acts, even have ties to gangs. To your point, this is the mayor of your city, Brandon Johnson, defiant. Listen.
We are a welcoming city, and we are a sanctuary city. We are a sanctuary and welcoming state.
This guy's a fucking piece of shit. Piece of shit. He's destroying Chicago, making it even worse than it was with Lightfoot.
That has not changed.
I hope he gets arrested. I really hope he gets arrested. That would be amazing.
Because of who won the election. And that's not going to change. Any
That's fine. No problem.
of the measures that the president is looking to execute against working people in the city of Chicago.
Working people. Why is he ignoring the fact that they're illegal? Why is he protecting criminals? Probably because he is a criminal himself, but...
We will defend our city. It's just that simple.
You're defending your city against federal agents who are coming to arrest criminals. And people wonder why Chicago is such a fucking shithole.
Are there any Chicago residents who are opposed to This administration coming in and taking out and sending back those who have criminal backgrounds, are wanted for criminal acts, or even worse, have violent ties to gangs.
Chicago has enough gangs.
I'm sure that they're not, and I'm sure that you'll hear people say that there are people who are opposed to it, but for the majority of the citizens here in Chicago, we're not opposed to it. Let me tell you something.
All of a sudden, democracy and majority doesn't matter anymore.
You know, our mayor
because the left isn't getting their fucking way. Bunch of fucking pussies.
Is intent on protecting people who come from other places. We need our mayor to be intent on protecting the people who were born here,
the citizens who pay taxes, exactly. Tell him.
Who were raised here, the people who have stake, and not that those people don't have stake in these communities.
But they're not citizens. So how much stake could they have, really? Honestly.
But for those of us who have been fighting tirelessly to bring about change in our communities and have been told time after time again that there is no money, and to watch billions being spent on people who are not from here is a problem.
That's a huge problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Most of Chicago. And it must be a problem for most of the country because you can tell that in the way that people voted.
Yeah, and we hear the frustration.
Thank you. Exactly. Everyone wants to ignore that they voted for this.
And the urgency in your voice, and the numbers back up your concern. This is the total number of migrants in your city that have come in through December 18th. The influx topping 51,000. Just to give people
into a city of Chicago, 51,000, and they spent fucking $629 million on them.
An idea of what the city
of their tax dollars that these fuckers haven't contributed to and probably never will contribute to, minus when they go buy shit at the store.
If Chicago's been dealing with,
which fucking tourists do,
and
doesn't make you a citizen.
Your point about the spending and how much this is costing the city in just a 2-year period, just over a 2-year period.
It's like, what do you, I bought 2 beers and I got a fucking lap dance. What do you mean I'm not a citizen in Mexico? What are you talking about?
It's $630 million. And Kata, I know you have been pointing out all that money that is being taken away from
$630 fucking million. That is insane. You know how much shit they could do to help the actual citizens there with that money? Oh my God.
The school situation, the healthcare system, obviously the streets are dealing with a lot of crime. Final thought from you.
Final thoughts are, Tom Homan, you are welcome. I voted for President Trump. And let me tell you something.
Thank you.
I was one of those lifelong Democrats. I started voting at 18, voted in every election, voted Democrat in every election except this last one because I'm just tired. I'm tired of the same old thing happening from the...
I'm sorry it took you that long to realize how shitty the Democrat Party is, but thank you for waking up.
Democratic Party. I'm so glad that President Trump is now delivering on some of his promises. I heard Stephen Smith ask this earlier on Bill Maher's show. What has the Democrats delivered for us lately?
Exactly. That's the thing. The Democrats are pissed off right now, and these liberal leftists are all pissed because Trump is actually doing what he said he was going to do. They're not used to somebody following through on the shit they said they were going to do before they got elected. Obama didn't. Biden didn't. Bush never did. Clinton never did. So, of course they're not used to this. And Bush is a piece of shit. I don't care if he's a Republican. That guy was a piece of shit. He was a horrible fucking president. But they never followed through with anything. Now it's like they're upset and they're mad because he's actually doing what he said and they're losing their shit over it. Like, were you not paying attention during the campaign when he was saying this is what he was going to fucking do? This is why everyone voted for him instead of Camel Toe. Because our country, we were losing our country and we were funding it. Imagine that. We're going broke to pay for fucking illegals to be here. And they can't work and they can't contribute, but they can suck off our society and our tax dollars like leeches. And somehow, if you were against that, you were a racist and a bigot, and you had no empathy for anybody. But meanwhile, we have fucking people here that are homeless and can't get help and can't get jobs or any of that shit. But that's totally fucking fine. These illegals go in and work under the table, get paid less than minimum wage, and fuck everybody else out of a job. But then the left is silent as hell on them not being paid a living wage or not paying taxes. They don't say anything about that, and they don't say anything about the corporations or the businesses that are taking advantage of these people. Suddenly they're silent on that shit. It's so fucking weird. But the fucking barista at Starbucks wants to be paid $50 a fucking hour for asking me what kind of milk I want in my fucking latte. This shit is ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Everyone, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. Give me a follower on X at MiddleGuy7, and I'll see everybody soon. Thank you. Take care.